I was invited to speak on domestic abuse, and I chose the verbal abuse, which is very horrible. Verbal abuse is that situation where a spouse abuses the other. But this time it was a women's conference, so I was speaking to the women. And so, what is verbal abuse? You are married and your husband is constantly calling you, for example, you are morbidly obese, or just insult, know how to take care of a home. Just it's a deliberate attempt to bring you down and to cause you to be miserable. And sure, he always succeeds in making you miserable because nobody enjoys being verbally abused. Verbal abuse is painful because it's really the truth. A lot of times, what you're verbally abused about is true. And so if you're fat and your husband says you're morbidly obese, it's true you're fat. And if you maybe are not a fantastic cook and your husband calls you out, it's true. A lot of times what you're verbally abused about is true. So sometimes just to get at you, he may tell lies against you. And so because it's true, it hurts very badly because already you yourself are condemning yourself in those areas, and then someone now comes to throw light on it, so that makes it worse. But how do you now get over it? Because you must get over it. You need to get over it to be able to function fully in life. If you don't, the result of it all is that you're going to have this extreme inferiority complex that you don't need. You need to understand that those who verbally abuse others, who just keep, emphasizing on the negatives in other people, are suffering from heavy inferiority complex. They are going through a lot of trauma. They have healing. They need to be healed mentally. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. And so when you are verbally abused, instead of feeling sorry for yourself, feel sorry for that person miserable. I told the women, don't feel sorry for you, feel sorry for them, because they must be going through some health challenges, some mental health challenges, and they need help. They need a psychiatrist to put them together. You're not the one that needs help. So don't let them get under your skin. Rise above them. Walk with your head up. Remember, if you're a graduate, you pass through school, nobody passed through school for you. Remember all the amazing things about yourself and be consoled that you're a human being that is fearfully and wonderfully. Things that you can't do anything about. What do you suddenly want to do at 40 years to K-legs? They can't straighten out, for goodness sake. What do you suddenly want to do? All your life you grew up chubby. They married you chubby. You are now big. So what do you want to do about your chubbiness? Because no matter how you run around Abuja, no matter what you do, you can never become slim because that's not your DNA. So what do you want to do about so many other things? Maybe you're too clumsy, or you're lazy. There are so many things you can't do anything about. You might improve on them, but you really can't do anything about them. So that's why you must embrace the differences. You must be glad that the Lord has blessed you with some strong quality to variety in the world. And that's why he made us different shapes and sizes. The second thing you have to understand is that everybody has their strong points and their weak points. Everyone has what makes them tick. Everyone has, who they are and all of that. And it is deliberate by God Almighty. So there is no perfect human being. In Igbo land, they say One Ezucha means is never complete. So you probably see somebody who can cook, who can do this, but they're not beautiful. You see someone just like that is a mixture. I'm sure you know what it means. So number one thing that you as an individual should do is to acknowledge all your strong points and to acknowledge all your weak. Having identified who you are and having been vocal about it to your partner, when he wants to use it against you, it just becomes like stale news because the person already knows who they are. And so if I'm with you, you are constantly going to hear me talk about the things that I'm not very good in. I just talk about them casually. I don't make a heavy word out of them. It's just who I am. If I'm not a fashionista like other fashionistas, that's just who I am. If I can't cook like Mama Cass, that's just who I am. And there's another flip side of it. Just as you are mentioning your weaknesses, you should also be proud of your achievements. You should also hype yourself before your partner. You have to balance it so that he knows, or whoever it is that wants to verbally abuse you, we know that you're not all of those kind of negative things that he's saying about you, that there is more to you. Therefore, you must learn to talk about your strong points, and there are no lies about the things that are truly true about you. So you come back from the market and you say to your husband, I met a woman today and she kept staring at me. And I turned to her, I said, why are you staring at me? She says, Madam, you have such a beautiful face. And then you tell him, I met some people today and we're having a discussion and they said to me, you're so smart, you're so articulate. And next time you see him, I said, oh, some people saw the children and they said, your children are so well mannered. It just means you're an amazing mother. So you don't let people tell you who you are. You tell them who you are. And so when they're balancing your ability not to recognize road signs and all the roads, they're balancing it against the backdrop of being smart, intelligent, beautiful, raising well-behaved children. Call out those who go around abusing people, abusing their spouses, making them feel small, insulting them with things that they do. It is wrong. It is wrong because you are, for those women who are not bold enough, who maybe didn't grow up in an environment of love, who are not strengthened enough to withstand your verbal abuse, it leads them to depression. It makes them feel horrible. And I know maybe that's your aim, but whether it's your aim to make people feel bad or to get them, stop it. Stop doing that. You won't gain anything from it. Stop it. Because God himself loves his children and he might punish you, just punish you for all that wickedness that you spew out from your mouth. Stop it. If you belong to those category of people bringing people down,